This is a commentary on Lesson 28 in the Workbook for A Course in Miracles. Above all else, I want to see things differently. We've been on the theme of our thoughts and their power from our text study class. We've been recognizing that all starts with our original thoughts of being willing to be separate from who we are, a self of love, and in the recent lessons, these have been defined as attack thoughts, which produces a world that seems to be a world of attack. That causes loss to us, depression, all those negative things. And that now that's the purpose. The ego is given to everything, and now our purpose, we're beginning to set a definite commitment and a goal to having the purpose of the world around us to be one in which that helps us remember our true self of love. And so we're no longer willing to be separate from love, and we're going to be separate from this false concept of ourselves. So today we're really giving specific application to the idea for yesterday, giving a priority to seeing things in their true nature. And in the practice periods, we're going to make a commitment not to be concerned if it's unwavering or just a minor commitment. We just need to begin to make a little willingness towards this commitment to having a different purpose for everything. And we're just beginning. Okay, so moving on to the next paragraph, you may wonder why it's important to say, for example, above all else, I want to see this table differently. In and itself, it's not important yet. What is it by in and of itself? This has been a crucial insight, not just in the Course, but in our Western world for hundreds of years now, is that there are no things in themselves. It's always the thing in it, what it means to us, it's always the thing in itself, and then the concept in our mind about that. There's no just a raw thing, and that defines its meaning. We always put the meaning onto it with the concepts, and this is true of time, space, causation, all those big things. Those are concepts in the mind. So he's saying here you see a lot of separate things about you, which really means you're not seeing it all. We're not seeing the oneness anymore. We've broken that apart, and the universe seems to be a composite of an infinite set of separate things. So here in 7, when you've seen one thing differently, you will see all things differently. The light you see in any one of them is the same light you will see in them all. If you remember from the beginning of the workbook introduction that we want to generalize our ability to see everything differently, but we start with specifics, and from that specific, learning it in one specific context or with one specific thing, then we can generalize it to everything. So we start with the specifics. When you say above all else, I want to see this table differently, you're making a commitment to withdraw your perceived ideas about the table and open your mind to what it is. You're not defining it in past terms. If you remember the lesson, I see only the past. We're using our past memories of what we thought things were to define it. And in 3 here, you're asking what it is rather than telling it what it is. So it's opening the mind to saying, what is this thing? What is this table? You're asking what it is rather than telling it what it is. You're not binding its meaning to your tiny experience of tables, nor are you limiting its purpose to your little personal thoughts. So we're trying to find the true purpose of things, the purpose that's shared by the whole universe, not just our little private world that decides what things are. So we're opening our minds to ask what things are rather than defining it. In other words, when he says telling it what it is. All right, so moving on. You will not question what you've already defined, and the purpose of these exercises is to ask questions and receive answers. In saying above all else, I want to see this table differently, you're committing yourself to seeing. So we're setting this definite commitment, this definite goal to open our minds and release them from our thoughts of what we thought things were. Okay, so we're not telling it, we're asking. We're asking a question, and we're going to receive answers. So we're making a commitment, and it applies to tables, it applies to everything. You could, in fact, gain vision from just that table if you withdraw all your own ideas from it and look upon it completely open with a completely open mind. It has something to show you, something beautiful and clean of infinite value, full of happiness and hope, hidden under all your ideas about what its real purpose, the purpose it shares with the universe. So again, all things will maintain their superficial purposes. I mean, tables will still serve as tables. All things will serve that, but it won't be defined just as our personal interest in it or our personal past thoughts about it. We'll find that it shares the purpose of the universe, which is not to continue to convince us of this false image of ourselves, but to show us this real image of ourselves. That's the purpose of everything. In using the table as a subject for applying the idea for today, we're really asking to see the purpose of the universe. And you'll be making this request of each subject that you use in the practice periods. You're making a commitment to each of them to let its purpose be revealed to you instead of placing your own judgments upon it. So it's the letting go, letting God, letting go of what we think things are, and opening our minds to this greater mind, the mind that we share with the whole universe, the mind we share with God. Okay, so we'll have 6 2-minute practice periods today in which the idea for today is stated first and then applied to whatever you see about you. Again, this randomness of objects, not specifically trying to get everything but not excluding anything. And each object, we sincerely apply the day to it. We're asking what it is in an attempt to acknowledge the equal value of them all in their contribution to your seeing. So here's the instructions. As usual, the application should include the name of the subject your eyes happen to light on it, and you should rest your eyes on it a while saying, above all else, I want to see this blank differently. Whatever objects that come into our vision. Each application should be made quite slowly and thoughtfully as possible. There's no hurry. So we can do this very, slow down the mind. We slow it down to this focus on one thing and try to see it differently. Ask what it is. What is its purpose? What does it mean? And it can show us this purpose of the universe, something beautiful, or it can show us our personal interest. Okay, that's it. Thank you.